So just to kind of like round this out, do you agree with Hassan's clip? I think this is actually kind of where I got this video idea from, where he talks about how the right wing has a total dominance over the young male demo. What have you seen with your audience, and how do you hope to change it?
Just the things I was saying before, that like you have to be able to have fun on the left, and it's too much. It feels like every time you go to some like left-wing area, especially if you're a white guy, you've got to grab, a whip and self-flagellate basically and punish yourself for being a horrible majority class person. And it's just like no fun. It's just super fucking lame, dude. Like, who wants to go and hang out? Even ContraPoints was saying that like, like hang out with a bunch of left-leaning people. It's a fucking chore, dude. Fuck that. It's not fun. These people are, yeah, fuck it.
Do you have friends from both sides of the spectrum, like in your personal life?
A little bit, if they're secret Trump supporters. But if I find out, I cut them out. No more of these people, okay? I don't want to have to make hard decisions in the upcoming civil war, so I'm just trying to have only friends on the left now.
I think I recently saw a clip that someone on the left said that they need like a liberal Joe Rogan. Do you feel like you can fill that shoe, or is that something that you want to do?
I don't know. I'll continue to grow, get more popular. We'll see how it goes. But I like Joe Rogan as like a figure is like everything that's wrong with media. It's a person that can lie with impunity, that has no responsibility for his platform, that pretends to be a centrist while sycophantically supporting one side. Like, I don't necessarily want that on the left. Like, I don't want to duplicate that. I wish that less people would be interested in that type of media. But I do think the left needs to calm the fuck down a lot when it comes to doing media on the left. Like, not be so fucking soy and not like hand wring over everything and woke scold everybody. Like, I think that's really cringe.
Why do you feel like a lot more young women are becoming more liberal?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't see the numbers, but I mean, I imagine that like the young, I think that like men sell a version of masculinity to themselves, or rather like these kind of like fake masculine guys sell a version of masculinity to men that like any actual man can see is like cringe and lacking in self-esteem, and probably a lot of women can see through it too. Like the people like the Tates and the Trumps and all these like losers sell you this really big false bravado. Like there's never been a single time in the history of all of dating where a girl has like looked across the table and seen that this guy has like 15 Andrew Tate videos saved, and she's like, oh, finally a real man for me. Like, it just has never happened ever. So yeah, but I mean, like, again, a lot of that is the left's fault because they were unwilling to sell, like healthy versions of masculinity to young men. So they let these people on the right, like the rapists and sex traffickers and shit, like Trump and Andrew Tate, basically sell them some dumb version of masculinity. So it is what it is.
Why don't you think there's any figure like that on the left then? There seems to be a big hole for that.
Because the left was too busy like woke scolding every majority class. So if you were a man, you're an evil rapist. If you're white, you're a colonizer. Just like cringe shit like that the left needed to ditch a long time ago. They started to get rid of it, but yeah.
Do you feel like Joe Rogan's a healthy example of masculinity?
He's a lot better than Trump or Tate at the very least. I don't know if I hear him talk too much on masculinity, but I don't think I've heard Rogan say things where I'm like, ugh, that's like how stupid in terms of like masculinity at least.
Describe a healthy definition of masculinity?
Unironically, it'd probably just be going back to a lot of fucking like coming of age movies and shit in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I mean, like, it's about learning how to, like be a man for others. Like, how do you be in service to your community? How do you take care of your friends and family? How do you operate with honor and integrity when it's difficult to do so? Like, I mean, like these classical masculine traits. How do you be a strong, independent person that can take care of the people around you in a chaotic world, basically? It seems like the Tates and the Trumps and everybody are more concerned with like, how do you have the flashiest watch and how do you fuck the most women, basically, and that's their version of masculinity, and it's very cringe.
So Destiny, I gotta say though, like, you care about facts, like I can see that, but don't you feel like sometimes your bias is overcrowding that? Like, is there any world where if Trump saves the world or whatever, where you have actually ever give him credit, or if Joe Rogan does a phenomenal interview or whatever?
I give credit to all sorts of people. Yeah, I can give credit to people. Again, the problem is the true enemies are people like you. Okay. Unironically, though, like you're no, but because you're so obsessed with trying to both sides everything, and it's like it's an impossible world to live in, because then people like you look at me like, aren't you kind of biased, Destiny? No, I don't think I am biased compared to the party that doesn't even acknowledge the results of the 2020, 2024, or 2016 election. Donald Trump still thinks all three elections were rigged. And you're asking me if I'm the biased one, right? Like, in 2016, he said that 3 million illegal immigrants voted with no evidence. Put together a commission to find it, couldn't find it, disbanded the commission. In 2020, he says that the election was rigged. They launched 60 plus court cases to try to prove that, lost basically every single one. In 2024, Donald Trump was still saying that there was like evidence of rigging at the Philadelphia place in Detroit. They were bringing no evidence was ever good presented for any of this. None of it was proven, right? And then you're like, well, don't you think you're being a little bit flip biased and say, no, the right is full of fucking liars right now and crazy people. So I don't think that I'm biased by calling that out. When the right does something good, then I say, okay, yeah, this is good. I give him credit for this. When the left does something bad, I would criticize him for that. Nobody on the right will criticize Donald Trump substantively for anything. That's why you can't even give me a single example. I can rattle off 5 or 10 criticisms of Kamala Harris off the top of my head for things that I don't like. You will never find the same criticisms for people on the right. Like, it just doesn't happen. I challenge you to do any of it, other than like they'll give these like very like, well, I don't like that Donald Trump is kind of mean sometimes. Like, they'll give some shit like that, but they won't disagree with them on any policy. Like, yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that I'm part of the problem, but I do think this is exactly why it's important to talk to both sides, though, right? And I think that you do it a lot of times, though.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
I
do
regret a
talk to
lot of it.
people.
This is not valuable. The talking to both sides is not valuable because then it gives the air of illusion that both sides are somehow coming to some middle ground or agreement. There is no coming to a middle ground or agreement with people on the right who think that the last election was still stolen. These people are
There's also
retarded.
people on the left, but
There
there
are
are
some
people
people on the left, but they're 1%.
right.
On the right, they're 99%. That's the difference. The difference
that
is when people say,
fact?
yes,
Destiny, is
yeah.
that
The
fact?
fact is, show me.
99%?
Do you want to compare how many lawmakers on the Republican side are QAnoners versus how many people on the left are neo-Marxists or whatever? There's
guess what I'm
nobody. It's not even
yeah.
close. There's not even close.
I mean, look, I know you're just exaggerating by saying
I'm not
like 99%.
exaggerating. Wait, how am I
99%?
exaggerating?
You're thinking 99% of Republicans think that it was stolen versus only 1% of the
Well, hold
on the Democrat
For the
side?
Republicans that think the last election was stolen, that number, the last I saw, was 80% think that the 2020 election was rigged, was like the actual votes were stolen. Yes. Nothing is equivalent on the left to that. It's not even close. The right is out of control, and they are completely divorced from reality. It's insane.
So you're saying that there can't be really any side of like middle ground.
No,
In that
not with
instance,
these people.
Do
No.
you think that it's just going to become more polarized, and we're gonna be divided as a nation? Is that kind of like your outlook for America?
Until somebody can rein in the right, and I think a lot of that has to do with the left being more aggressive. Yes, right now, it'll just continue to get worse and worse. The right can basically take advantage of all of the left's achievements while shitting on the left the entire time, not realizing that like they wouldn't even be able to exist without the left leading things in this country. Like, yeah.
So do you think are you saying that over half the country is essentially delusional for voting for the Republican side for not only the Senate, the House, as well as the presidency?
I would say that most people aren't as plugged in, and they just see that like price high, bad, and they vote for the other side. But for the majority of the people that do support the Republicans, yes, there is no reasonable person that could support Trump. There is no and know everything about him or know like half the stuff about him. That's why I haven't ran into a single one that's been able to do it. And if you find any, and if any of them see this interview, whatever, want to argue, I will argue with any large figure conservative, every single one of them. Nobody can provide a good defense of any of the things that Trump has done. It's not possible. It is
Then
impossible
doesn't that
to
go
do.
against like what you consider to be a centrist? If you
I'm
feel
not.
so
I'm not.
strongly-
You're more hung up on this centrist term than I am. I don't even
That's what
call
you
myself
said.
a.
That's
No,
what
no. You said.
Or,
You
sorry,
said.
independent. You said independent.
No. I just said that I don't start from a place of political like allegiance. I start from like these are the things that I care about. These are my values. Right now, I align majority with the Democratic Party, but I don't go around saying like, oh, I'm a centrist. I describe myself as like center left, far left, depending upon the platform I'm on. It
Sure.
really
And you
depends.
said that it will change depending on what the party's values is at the time, right?
Sure.
So in that instance, like, can't you see that party values changes all the time and your values should probably stay like consistent? So in that instance, can't anyone become like a centrist because their values will look different based on historical context, what the party believes at that time, and what they feel like to be most aligned with like their values?
Yeah, I mean, if the Republican Party's entire platform changed, I could change my party alignment. That's possible, but that's not happening, so I don't know.
Got you. Well, yeah, I think this is all already like over time, but is there any like kind of like last message that you want to say to, I guess, like my audience or for this video? I know we kind of got like a little bit sidetracked, but it was nice talking with you, man.
Yeah, I wish people would look at the actual facts of things that have happened rather than just like listening to things that Joe Rogan or other conservatives are just like telling you. Like, go and read the actual documents, go and look at what's actually happening. Don't just believe things that Trump or these other people are saying. They've all been proved to be lying to you. They are all lying to you. Elon Musk lied to you when he said he was going to give away $1 million at random to people, basically for signing to vote. That wasn't true. He's giving it away to people that they're choosing to be spokespeople for their America PAC. Donald Trump, lied to you over all the voter fraud stuff. He knows he was lying to you. It's in indictments. He's literally laughing at Sidney Powell, saying, like, I think she's from Star Trek when he has the phone muted. Fox News lied to you over the Dominion stuff. They knew they were lying to you the entire time. Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell lied to you in their court cases. They knew they were lying the entire time. Look at any of the actual hearings where they've all been fucking disbarred now and losing their legal licenses because the affidavits they submitted were ridiculous. The My Pillow CEO guy, like every single one of these people is lying to you, and they're taking their lies right to the bank, and they're cashing out for these huge checks. And you guys are supporting and defending them, and it's not you necessarily, but you in the general sense, like the conservatives are just supporting them, and that's just crazy to me. But I mean, like, if you want to be, I guess, like, used by these people to make a ton of money, I mean, then good luck buying all your Trump trading cards and gold shoes and whatever else he's selling to personally enrich himself.
Do you have the impression that I'm like a Trump, like huge Trump supporter or something?
No, not you. I'm sorry. When I'm saying you here, I mean you in the general sense, not like you personally. Yeah, sorry.
Got you.